We're here today at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst on the Old College Parade Square to witness the Officer Cadets of Commissioning Course, a 233 passing off as commissioned officers. I'm Captain Vincent, the 38th Platoon Commander, and I'm here with Captain Jansen Morris, the 40 Platoon Commander.
Each commissioning parade is one of the grandest days in the calendar at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, and are the result of many weeks of hard work. We are delighted to be able to invite friends, family and VIP guests to gather before Old College Parade Square to watch the Officer Cadets. Those joining us virtually, we hope you enjoy it just as much. The Officer Cadets will march onto the square in their half companies, 37 and 38 platoon, and 39 and 40 platoon. They will be marching shoulder to shoulder with their peers who have endured and completed the arduous 8-week training programme and will have undoubtedly made some lifelong friends.
This morning, the regular professionally qualified officers who've successfully completed this course and are confirmed their commissions, they'll be marching in service dress with accoutrements of their parent cap badges and their rank. Those in number 1 and blues dress, those other cohorts, have not yet confirmed their commission, but will do at midnight tonight.
During the ceremony itself, the platoon commander, 39 Platoon Detergent Company, Captain Edward Anderson, will be announcing the course's prize winners. Finally, in time-honoured tradition, the parade will conclude with the commissioning officer cadets marching off the parade square, up the steps and through the grand entrance into Old College itself. The band on parade today are the Army Band Colchester, ably led and conducted by Band Major Staff Sergeant Tom Lamerton-Rees, RCAM. They really do add to the occasion.
The Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, commonly referred to as Sandhurst or RMAS, is located in the town of Sandhurst, Berkshire, though its ceremonial entrance is in Camberley, southwest of London. The original Royal Military Academy was established in Woolwich in 1741 to train artillery and engineer officers. Cavalry and infantry officers were trained at the Royal Military College, RMC, at Great Marlow, founded in 1802, subsequently moving to Sandhurst in 1812. The RMA and RMC merged after the Second World War in 1947 to form the present establishment, the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst. RMAS is at the centre of the wider Sandhurst Group, which includes all university officer training corps and regiments. The Sandhurst Group supports the attraction and nurturing activity of potential Army officers and the training of them as officer cadets at RMAS on either regular or reserve commissioning courses. On the 1st of April 2018, Sandhurst Group became an operating division of the Army Recruiting and Initial Training Command, ARITC, located in Upavon, Wiltshire. The organisation is responsible for the recruiting and the basic training of all officer and soldier entrants to the British Army. Everyone who holds the King's Commission is now trained at Sandhurst, as well as men and women from overseas, and the Academy is proud to be the spiritual home and the national centre of excellence for leadership for the Officer Corps of the British Army. It was in 1984 that the Women's Officer Training College was also merged into Sandhurst, which brought both reserves and regular women's training here. In 1992, a new commissioning course finally unified the training of male, female, overseas cadets, graduates and non-graduates. The British Army is built on its values and standards. The values, courage, discipline, respect for others, integrity, loyalty and selfless commitment guide and develop us into the sort of people we should be. The standards explain how we should behave in every aspect of their life, professional and private. They have been formulated to ensure that the behaviour of officers and soldiers is lawful, appropriate and professional. During training, all officer cadets learn to live by the Academy's motto, serve to lead through the power of your unselfish example, the basics of who you are and the enduring need to live by the values you stand for all day and every day. Training at the Academy is challenging, but ultimately rewarding. The officer cadets on parade today will leave knowing they've excelled at one of the world's most revered military training academies.
This is the interview process through which those on parade and all officer cadets were selected to train at Sandhurst. AOSB takes place in Westbury, near Warminster. They're part of the Army Recruiting and Initial Training Command, ARITC, and the two organisations work closely together to develop the process of selecting suitable individuals to train at Sandhurst. AOSB consists of psychometric tests, interviews, assessed command tasks, an essay, a planning exercise, group discussions, and a physical fitness test. So to have passed that alone is a huge achievement in itself, even before completing the commissioning course. Candidates can choose to go for a regular or reserve commission from being selected, and many opt to join the regular commissioning after having served time in the reserves and enjoying their experience, or vice versa. Although a number of these officer cadets will have come straight to RMAS with no prior military training, some of the officer cadets will have attended a university officer training corps whilst at university prior to attending RMAS. The University Officers Training Corps, UOTC, of which there are 19 across the UK, is an Army Reserve unit that recruits exclusively from university students. Its aim is to train the future generation of officers for both the regulars and reserves. However, there is no commitment to join after university. University students who join the University Officers Training Corps will have the opportunity to undertake reserve officer training modules designed to fit around their degrees. The inspecting officer today is Major General Sarah Johansson, MBE. Major General Sarah Johansson commissioned into the Intelligence Corps in 1995. She has had a varied career, including operational and staff and liaison roles in the UK and overseas, being awarded an NBE and Queen's Commendation for valuable service for her work. She was appointed as the Defence Attaché to the Kingdom of Denmark and head of the Nordic-Baltic Network in 2016. In 2019, she took up the appointment of head of the British Defence Intelligence Liaison Staff in the United States. In 2021, Major General Johansson became the CDS Liaison Officer to the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff in the US. In June 2023, she was promoted to the rank of Major General, taking up the appointment of Deputy Chief of Defence Intelligence. Sarah is a keen equestrian and current president of the Army Equitation Association. Accompanied by Colonel Phaedra McLean, TD-VR, who is the Deputy Commandant, RMAS, and is responsible for the officer cadets during their training. Colonel McLean commissioned in 1989 whilst a serving police officer in Cheshire Constabulary, a career she has maintained throughout her Army Reserve service. She's mobilised, been called up for service, twice, including to Afghanistan, and was the first female Intelligence Corps Reserves officer to command a military intelligence battalion. Once the inspecting officer arrives, she inspects the parade in open order and then will later address the parade following the march past in quick time.
On parade today, we have an amazingly diverse portfolio of experience, skills and qualifications that provide the Field Army and Defence with specialist support and integration of key subject matter expertise. There's also a broad age range of officer cadets from 18 to 56 years old. On parade, there are 106 officer cadets, 29 of whom are female, and they will be expecting today on this parade. They are made up of 34 reserve POs, 5 University Officer Training Corps cadets, and 65 regular PQOs and 2 international cadets.
Reserve Potential Officers. These are direct entrants, UOTC officer cadets or soldiers wanting to commission into the Army Reserve. Regular Professionally Qualified Officers or PQOs. These hold professional qualifications such as doctors, lawyers, dentists, nurses, physiotherapists and chaplains. The course is designed to familiarise the PQOs with military life and to prepare them for operational deployment.
Today we have 2 international students, both professionally qualified officers from Malta, one a pharmacist and a second a physiotherapist. The Army Officer Internship is an opportunity to spend a challenging and rewarding year with the Army as a young officer for anyone between the ages of 18 and 28, before, during or after going to university. Currently we have 10 on parade with us today. The commissioning course short also trains reserve professionally qualified officers. Just like their regular peers, they hold the required professional qualifications. In addition, we have Specialist Reserve Officers, SROs, selected for their key professional and technical skills that are not available within the military or would be difficult to maintain, and individuals who are already recognised experts in their field. If you are interested in finding out more, there is lots of information available on the Army website. The Reserve Officers and the Professionally Qualified Officers focus on officership, command and leadership, and the syllabus includes field training, physical training, weapons training, and of course drill. When not out in the field, the officer cadets find themselves in the classroom learning, for example, about global security, aspects of leadership psychology, and the history of warfare. Someone who holds a commission in the Army Reserve will have learned a wide range of valuable leadership and managerial skills that can also be used in the civilian workplace. For that reason, many employers actively support employees who wish to become Army Reserve officers. If you recognise yourself in that statement, thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoy watching that parade.
On this commissioning course short, there are 2 international students from Malta, and their flag is represented here today. Other nations choose to send their personnel to RMAS for officer training because it's recognised as a world-leading military training academy. With an illustrious history stretching back more than 200 years, it has moulded generals, heads of state and captains of industry, many of whom are drawn from foreign military organisations who want their officers to be the best. In recent times, RMAS has trained officers from over 120 different countries. The international cadets enrich the course at Sandhurst, bringing with them cultural and operational experience from around the world. Students are selected by their own defence organisations, and their applications are made to the Ministry of Defence via their defence attaché. The internationals on parade today are from the Armed Forces of Malta, and the officer cadets are Officer Cadet De Gabriele and Officer Cadet Sapiano, both professionally qualified officers within the Armed Forces of Malta.
Commissioning course short training. At the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, the individuals you see before you have conducted training designed to make them an effective leader of soldiers. Military training is infantry-based so that everyone, no matter what their eventual regiment or corps, will have mastered the core essentials before they go on to more specialised trade training after Sandhurst. In 2017, the commissioning course short replaced the Professionally Qualified Officer PQO course, Army internships, previously known as gap year commissions, and the Army Reserve commissioning courses, which were previously attended by regular and reserve PQOs and Specialist Reserves Officers, SROs. Army Reserve Potential Officers, RES-POs, and University Officer Training Corps Officers, Officer Cadets. The course consisted of 4 two-week modules running back-to-back and is designed to develop military leadership and tactical skills. There are now 3 CCS courses delivered every year in the spring, summer and autumn terms. The CCS takes 8 weeks to complete and is based directly on the regular commissioning course, which is 44 weeks long. It is split equally into 4 modules, Alpha through Delta, that can be completed in that manner, as many of those on the parade today have done, as an 8-week block or can be completed in individual 2-week blocks. It is an intense, challenging course designed to teach the fundamentals of soldiering and leadership and is the golden thread in everything the officer cadets do at Sandhurst as they begin their career as commissioned officers.
Instructors can come from any part of the British Army and are selected after they attend the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst Instructors Cadre run once every year. The aim is to select 30 senior non-commissioned officers, senior NCOs, from over 60 applicants. This proves and produces the best instructors the British Army has at its disposal. They too have committed the last 8 weeks to the commissioning course short. Our thanks go to them all, as they have cajoled, mentored, tested the officer cadets with such skill and professionalism, and enabled such significant personal and leadership development whilst dealing with the challenges of delivering training. Captains are selected by their respective corps colonels or colonels of regiment to go forward to a Pan-Army selection board to ensure the right people are assigned here.
Commanding Officer Old College is Lieutenant Colonel Gary England from the Royal Yorks. Officer Commanding Dettingen Company here today is Major Tiff Wild, RLC. Company Sergeant Major for Dettingen Company is Warrant Officer Class 2, Ben Hall from the Rifles. The 37 Platoon Commander, we have Captain Glez from the Int Corps and Colour Sergeant Muir from the Scots Guards. 38 Platoon is represented by Captain Vincent, Royal Artillery, and Colour Sergeant Elliott from the Grenadier Guards. 39 Platoon Commander, Captain Anderson from the Welsh Guards, supported by Colour Sergeant Bannis from the Scots. 40 Platoon, commanded by Captain Janssen Morris of the Int Corps, and Colour Sergeant Galami from the Royal Gurkha Rifles. A 41 Platoon Commander is Captain Nisbet, the Princess of Wales Royal Regiment, with Staff Sergeant Stubbs from the Royal Horse Artillery.
As mentioned, of the 106 cadets on parade today, there are 29 females among their ranks, who will go on to join the RMC, the Royal Army Medical Corps, the Royal Army Dental Corps, the Royal Army Chaplains Department, the Royal Signals, the Rifles, the Royal Irish, the Quarank, the AGC, the Royal Army Veterinary Corps, the RLC, and the UOTC. Women currently make up 15% of the Army Reserve and 70% of Army Reserve officers. As of December 2018, female cadets can join any corps or regiment within the British Army. This includes serving in the UK Special Forces, as well as the infantry and armoured regiments. Sandhurst has seen many of its own firsts. In 2000, Sergeant Marie Mariner was the first female senior non-commissioned officer. She starred in the BBC TV show Guns N' Roses. In 2016, Lieutenant Colonel Lucy Giles, Royal Logistics Corps, was the first female college commander of New College at Sandhurst, and now Colonel Giles is president of the Army Officer Selection Board. In 2019, Captain Kelly Wilson, Adjutant General's Corps and Personal Support Staff, was the first female adjutant at Sandhurst and part of the Sandhurst Support Unit. In 2020, Captain Rosie Wild was described as a trailblazer after passing the P Company course, the Parachute Regiment. In 2016, she was presented with the Sword of Honour given to the best cadet of the regular commissioning course, the equivalent to the McRoberts Sword that you will see here on the commissioning course short. It is a significant achievement to have completed the commissioning course short. Whether they're part of your family, your friend, an employee or a colleague, you should quite rightly be proud of all that they have achieved to be here today, as should they. A huge congratulations from Captain Vincent and myself to them all.
The Army Reserve. The Army is currently deployed in over 80 countries around the world. Deployments vary in strength from single military advisors to full operational deployments. The British Army comprises of around 73,000 experienced, committed and highly skilled regular and reserve soldiers. The Army Reserve is the largest of the reserve forces. The Army Reserve provides support to the regular army at home and overseas, and throughout its history, almost every major operation has seen reservists operate alongside their regular counterparts. For those who are not yet in the process of joining the reserves but are watching and may be interested, then we can offer the following benefits. You have the opportunity to travel to places like Kenya or California or across Europe, the opportunity to develop skills, earning both military and civilian qualifications, the opportunity to be paid for all of the training and reserve duties that you complete, and a number of benefits, including financial incentives and the opportunity to earn a tax-free bonus every year. And finally, to get fit, to be trained by the best and become Army fit.
On parade with us today, we have 6 individuals from the Army Medical Services Reserve, 40 cadets from the Army Medical Services Regular, 2 officer cadets from the Adjutant General's Corps Reserve, and 2 from the Adjutant General's Corps Regular. We have 6 from the Royal Army Chaplaincy Department Regular, and 1 from the Royal Armoured Corps. 2 officer cadets come from the Royal Regiment of Artillery, and also another 2 come from the Corps of Royal Engineers. We have 4 officer cadets from the Royal Logistics Corps and 3 joining us from the Intelligence Corps. We've got 9 infantry officer cadets and 1 from the Army Air Corps, 6 joining the Royal Corps of Signals upon their commission, and finally our 2 international cadets. Before we move on to the speeches, the Sandhurst Group mission is to attract, select and deliver potential officers to RMAS, to deliver trained, motivated and educated officers into Phase 2 training, and deliver appropriately trained and educated officers to OCS 2, provide direction for Army leader development, contribute to defence engagement in support of UK policy, and to preserve, protect and promote the reputation of RMAS in order to meet the operational requirements of UK defence. As we can see here, the adjutant on her charger, Sovereign Shadow, formerly called Rory when part of King's Troop, the Royal Horse Artillery. Standing at 18 hands tall, he's an Irish draft horse, enjoys polos. The hall porter will give him a polo when he rides up the steps. And we have it on good authority from Captain Humphreys that he's a very good boy. Hopefully he will behave today.
Music for the parade is performed by the British Army Band Colchester. Currently we're listening to over 700 officer cadets attend the regular commissioning course each year. In addition, RMAS trains annually some 400 reserve officers and reserve and regular professionally qualified officers. Since 1947, over 5,000 young people from 125 different countries have trained alongside the British Army officer cadets, reinforcing the ties between the British Army and the armies of our friends and allies. This is important, as it is highly unlikely that we'll ever fight alone in the future, but rather alongside our international allies. There are typically over 90 overseas officer cadets from up to 40 different nations at RMAS at any time across both commissioning courses. For over 200 years, Sandhurst has evolved to meet the changing requirements of the British Army, and this evolution continues apace today. During their time, all officer cadets are trained to command soldiers in the contemporary operating environment and for operations of the future. We can be justifiably proud of our young officers who have performed with distinction on recent operations. Everyone who holds the King's Commission is now trained at Sandhurst, and the Academy is proud to be the spiritual home of the Officer Corps of the British Army.
centre. Quick, march. Parade. Stand at ease. Stand easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, directing staff of the Academy, commissioning officers and your families, thank you for the kind invitation to join you here today as you transition from officer cadet to begin your journey as Army officers. Allow me to begin by congratulating you most sincerely on your success. Many have tried to stand where you are today and have failed. The fact that you have succeeded is testament to your selfless commitment, your courage, your strength and your tenacity. It is also a mark of great teamwork and camaraderie because I know that you have not got here alone. Not only have you supported one another, but you have also been supported by your directing staff whose skilled professionalism and, if my own experience in 1994 is anything to go by, considerable patience as you sought to master drill and coped with considerable sleep deprivation brought about by a series of arduous exercises to develop your battlefield skills and hone your leadership skills. It's clear that you have done an excellent job. Your steadiness on parade this morning has no doubt been enhanced by the wonderful music provided by the British Army Band Colchester under the careful eye of their Director of Music, Staff Sergeant Lamberton. Thank you. Your commitment is even more impressive given the fact that many of you do so alongside your regular civilian jobs. I'm grateful that we get the benefit from such an impressive array of experience and skills far beyond that which we might hope to maintain in the regular army. I would also like to thank all of your families, your friends and your unit guests and employers for their steadfast support and for the sacrifices that they have made to support you on your journey to joining the British Army. I would also like to extend an especially warm welcome to those officer cadets who join us from Malta and their friends and families who have supported them in their preparations to join the Armed Forces of Malta. You are very welcome. You are choosing to serve your country at a time of unprecedented turmoil around the world and where the international rules-based order is under threat. Russia's invasion of Ukraine and increased tensions in the Western Balkans present a considerable challenge to Euro-Atlantic security. Simultaneously, China's apparent willingness to use military means to achieve its One China policy and assert a future model of Asian hegemony presents the West with a geopolitical dilemma. The rise of violent extremist organisations on the African continent has resulted in the collapse of stable governments across the Sahel and a rise in violence in the Horn of Africa. Peace on the Korean Peninsula remains fragile, to say nothing of the current crisis in Israel and Palestine and the risk of crisis contagion across the Middle East. In the wake of conflict and instability trails humanitarian hardship and human insecurity, affecting the world's most vulnerable people and its populations. History shows us that peace is precarious. Current events confirm it. World order and equilibrium are not assured, and sometimes they must be fought for. I suspect that previous inspecting officers have drawn quotes from notable illustrious generals so forgive me for reaching for a more modern cultural reference. Your mission, now that you have chosen to accept it, is to lead the men and women under your command in writing our next chapter of history. Do so with moral courage, integrity. Do your best, be ethical always, and inspire those around you to follow your excellent example. It is obvious to me that you are ready to meet that challenge, and you are not alone. You are joining a great institution of extraordinary men and women who stand with you shoulder to shoulder as we work together to protect the people of the United Kingdom, prevent conflict, and be ready to fight our enemies, be that alone or alongside our closest allies and partners. It remains only now for me to congratulate you once again on your wonderful achievements and to wish you good luck in your future endeavours. Congratulations.
And that was Major General Sarah Johansson, MBE.
Stand. Easy.
The International Award. The International Award is awarded to the International Cadets considered by the directing staff to be the best of the course. Today, it is awarded to Officer Cadet Sapiano from Malta.
Officer Cadet Sapiano of 39 Platoon will be returning to Malta, where he works as a physiotherapist, having won Top International Cadet.
The Army Internship Award. The Army Internship Award is awarded to the Army Intern Cadets considered by directing staff to be the best of the course. Today, it is awarded to Officer Cadet Clark, commissioning into the Rifles.
Officer Cadet Clark, 38 Platoon, has been awarded the Army Internship Award. She's commissioning into 1 Rifles and will be posting to Cyprus on completion of Mod Echo.
The McRobert Reserve Professionally Qualified Officer Sword, presented by the McRobert Trust. The McRobert Sword is awarded to the Army Reserve Professionally Qualified Officer, considered by the directing staff to be the best of the course. Today, it is awarded to Officer Cadet Hutchings, commissioning into the Royal Corps of Signals.
Officer Cadet Hutchins of 41 Platoon is a cybersecurity specialist who's part of the Royal Corps of Signals Land Information Assurance Group. He wins the Top Reserve PQO Award.
The Pooley Sword, presented by Pooley Swords. The Pooley Sword is awarded to the regular professionally qualified officer, considered by the directing staff to be the best of the course. Today, it is awarded to Officer Cadet Roebuck, commissioning into the Royal Army Medical Corps.
Officer Cadet Roebuck, 38 Platoon, is a doctor commissioning into the Royal Army Medical Corps. Elliot will start his Army Medical Services Entry Officers course in January, followed by a 5-month postgraduate medical officers course at the Defence Medical Services Whittington in Lichfield on completion of Mod Echo.
The McRobert Reserve Officer Sword, presented by the McRobert Trust. The McRobert Sword is awarded to the Reserve Officer considered by the directing staff to be the best overall cadet of the course. Today it is awarded to Officer Hoy, commissioning into the Royal Irish Regiment.
Officer Cadet Hoy of 40 Platoon works as a project manager in the defence sector in her civilian life, and she'll commission as a reservist infantry officer. As we start the final slow march up the steps of Old College, it's time to congratulate the winners of the inter-platoon competition within Dettingen Company, 40 Platoon, commanded by myself and Colour Sergeant Gulami. I will be returning to my role as 2IC of 7-4 Military Intelligence Company, the Welsh Intelligencers, and Colour Sergeant Gulami, Royal Gurkha Rifles, will be going on to junior term to train the next generation of leaders on the regular commissioning course.
All cadets commissioning at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst march up the steps to Old College through the grand entrance to Old Lang Syne. The adjutant will follow on horseback, and finally the inspecting officer, a Major General Johansson, Colonel McLean, and the commander of Old College, Lieutenant Colonel Gary England, will follow behind.
Before the adjutant follows on behind with sovereign shadow, we have the prize winners in order of award marching up Old College steps with the swords that they have been presented with. Finally, we have Officer Cadet Hoy, top reservist potential officer and overall top cadet of Commissioning Course Short 233, McRobert Sword winner, marching up the steps of Old College to complete the entire course of officer cadets, passing through the entrance.
thank you very much for joining us this morning as we celebrated the cadets of Commissioning Course Short 233 on their parade this morning. Didn't they look delightful?